Let's have a chat to Craig Slater. Craig, let's bring you in if we could, just to bring us up to date with anything else making the news right now in Formula One.
Well, a lot of speculation about drivers, and now that we've had the confirmation of Vettel leaving Ferrari and Ricciardo going to McLaren, Sainz going to Ferrari, a lot of attention on Valtteri Bottas, speculation that he's now courting the likes of Renault, Red Bull as well. We should not overplay these stories. My understanding is Bottas has not been told that he is surplus to requirements at Mercedes for the 2021 season onwards. What this is a consequence of, and I understand some conversations are taking place, it's a consequence of Mercedes perhaps delaying their finalised driver lineup for 2021 until some way through this 2020 season. So Bottas's management, in effect, are doing the circumspect thing by having some conversations with other parties to see how the land lies. Mercedes, although they haven't been explicit about this, what Toto Wolff has said is that they will look internally to begin with. And it was interesting to hear George Russell reminding everyone there that the reason why Mercedes have a driver program is to eventually promote a driver to that main seat, as it were. So I think Mercedes will see how things begin this season. So yeah, possibly good news for Russell, but if Bottas makes a strong start to the season, who's to say he can't continue alongside Lewis Hamilton? A lot of interest in that Renault seat vacated by Ricciardo. An interview with Cyril Abiteboul today has come out via our colleagues at motorsport.com. Interesting that Abiteboul says that Renault seat alongside most likely Ocon in 2021, he thinks will be part of a second driver movement some months away yet. People seeking to link the likes of Fernando Alonso and Bottas as well now with that seat. But it could be some months, according to Abiteboul, until we get that kind of confirmation.
Martin, do you think that, following up from what Craig was saying there, with regards to the driver market and that Renault seat, do you think that is going to be coveted at all by Sebastian Vettel? As Gunther was saying there, why would he think about a midfield team when he's been at the front?
Well, let's not forget that Renault is a works team, and providing they stay involved in Formula One in the medium term, then you'd have to give it consideration if you want to carry on. If you want to carry on racing, we have to be really careful at the moment. There's a lot of clickbait about. There is generally, but especially at the moment with no real action, and it's bizarre. Everybody's having to second guess driver lineups, who they might want to take on for next year when we haven't even started this year yet, and we're still a couple of months away. So we have this highly unusual situation we have to tread carefully through. If I was Renault, I would go for, they've got Ocon, cracking driver. I'd go for a young guy. Maybe Arthur Leclerc will have emerged by then. Maybe George Russell will be in the marketplace. Who knows? Or somebody of that ilk. And for me, it's the future at the moment the future is all about Max and Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris and George Russell and Alex Albon. And the guard has changed. And that's where I think that they should go and spend the 25 million euros on infrastructure and make the car faster for the future. But just my personal opinion. So I think there will be some more changes yet, and we'll see who's got the horsepower. It's interesting that Lewis is still sort of parked himself, out of he's not signed up for a seat at the moment.
Quick word very quickly on the calendar, Craig. Any news on that?
Yes, despite what Stuart Brundle said today, very briefly, Hungary, my sources there reckon they will learn today that they will be the third race on the calendar after those two races in Austria. Then we're looking at maybe a second chunk of 2 races, then 3 races in Europe. So 8 races in Europe to start the season.
Okay, pleasure. Thank you, Craig, for that. A big thanks to Martin and to Karun, to Stuart, to Gunther and to George for joining us.